Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm bringing a little video to you guys, and it's a story time video, and it is just explaining why it took me 4 tries, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 tries to get my driver's license. I'm just gonna start off by saying I was just one of those people that were super anxious to get my license. As soon as I turned 16, I was like, bam, license, and I went on my birthday to get the first step. In Canada, there are 3 parts to your license. I'm not sure if this is the same for the States. Is it? I don't know. Since you have to start off with your G1, which is just a written test. I think you get to practice in the car. And then there's a G2, which you can get 2 years after getting your G1. Or 1 year after, I think. And then there's your G, which you can get 2 years after having your G2. So on my 16th birthday, I went ahead, got my G1, passed with flying colors. Then I got my G2 as soon as I could. If it was 2 years, it was the 2 years, maybe it was 1, but I got it as soon as I can, like the very day that I was able to get it. I was just anxious to drive, so anyways, then I got my G2 and I was a boss. I was driving around, drove myself to work, drove myself wherever, and I was just super excited. And I don't know, life just changed since then, because you can drive yourself around, you don't have to depend on anyone. And my parents were kind enough to give me one of their vehicles. Well, not give it to me, but I was able to drive it, so thank heavens for that. I also, for some reason, went and got driving. I saved up for driving school, and I went and did that because I know that insurance was super expensive, so I think the whole point was driving school was supposed to minimize the amount of insurance that I paid, and that's why I did it. The funny story is, though, my driving instructor, she had 1 arm. This woman was hilarious. She was so strict. She's this Russian or Romanian, I can't remember, but this lady be teaching me how to drive with 1 arm, and she was just like, no, you can't. She would yell. She was fiery. I loved her. I really loved her. Being a fiery Jamaican myself, I've got a little, flair, so I understood. We saw eye to eye. So here comes the day to go get my G. Super excited. Mind you, I was 19. I was turning 20, and I had a newborn baby at home. She was 2 months old then. However, while driving, came to a stop sign, and the light turned green, and I started driving, and it was like a 4-lane. Guess who got pulled over? Me. I got pulled over, guys. Got pulled over by a cop, was given like a $270 ticket for what? I'd still like to know. This police officer, he accused me of going 40 over the speed limit. Mind you, we literally just came out of a stop sign. I just passed a stoplight and drove within like 20 seconds in, and he accused me of going above the speed limit. I was driving like a 2000 Caravan, guys. It could not accelerate to the speed required, let alone to be going over. I feel like he maybe set the gauge on someone else and just picked one and pulled me over, but I knew I wasn't going that fast. Point of the story is, he pulled me over, gave me a big fat ticket, stalled me for arriving at my driver's test. I still went because I wanted to see maybe if I could get squeezed in or whatever. Nope, they were all booked up. I was rescheduled to go back, which was super, super annoying because, like I said, I was a new mom. This is even more crucial than when I first got my G2. Because now I have a dependent, and I want to be able to drive wherever the heck we need to go. The doctor's appointment, the baby store, Babies R Us, wherever it may be, I want to be able to get there. So I rescheduled my appointment. The next time I go to my appointment, right, I get there on time, no popos this time, no tickets, arrive there on time. I waited in line for like half hour to 45 minutes because it was a long lineup. Next thing you know, I'm getting my eyes tested, and they're like, oh, you need your glasses. And I realized I forgot my glasses. I was so livid. I'm pretty sure I shed a few tears because I was just so frustrated at that point. Not only did it happen the first time, but it's happening again, and these ones cost money. So the first time they had pardoned me and allowed me to reschedule, but the next time I had to actually pay again. So now I had to reschedule a 3rd test. The funny thing is, in between these, you have to wait for, you have to wait some time. I think the first time it was like a month. The second time, yeah, I think it was probably another month. So I scheduled my last my third exam, went to it, and I'm, you know, nervous, so I show up on time. I'm sitting out in the parking lot just waiting patiently, and I kind of wish I didn't, because I felt like I kind of psyched myself out a little bit, just, I don't know, though I was confident before. With all of what kept occurring, I just kept feeling like, okay, like it's like something's gonna happen again. So this time, I'm sitting there waiting, and then I see the woman, the driver instructor who's actually gonna take me out. I was watching her, like I didn't know she was the one at the time, but she was up there and she's chit-chatting and talking and laughing with a bunch of other people. Then when she walks towards me and she sees who I am, her face just looked so stank. Her glasses immediately went down from the top of her head down to her eyes. And then she comes and talks to me with, like, she just greets me with a nasty attitude. And I was just like, oh my gosh, no, this is not happening, not today. Not today. Get into the car, drove. She was stank the whole time. Stank. And then I was just like, just doing everything that I needed to do. I didn't feel like I did anything wrong. I'm not perfect, so I don't want to say that I never did, but at the end, like, she didn't really say anything to me the whole time to give me any criticism, whether it was positive or negative. But then upon the end, when we arrived back at the depot, she failed me. She failed me. What did she fail me for? She said that I didn't stop properly at the stop sign. She said I didn't stop properly at the stop sign or the yield sign. I was like, are you kidding me? Are you seriously kidding me? I was like, when did I do that? Because you never spoke to me about it. And I asked her. And she's like, well, you didn't. And she just like gave me the paper and kind of just proceeded to leave the car. And I'm pretty sure I sobbed because I was just devastated. Guys, I was young, so I don't know, I was like a big crybaby back then. I cried and got in the car, drove home, devastated, and was just so frustrated. And, you know, at that point, I felt like this woman was discriminating me because I felt like she didn't know me. She preceded me and she came to me with like this nasty attitude. But however, she was like talking to a bunch of other people before, and she seemed perfectly fine with them, but she treated me so poorly. And I didn't want to go to the racial thing, but I really felt like that's what it was. It's hard to say because you don't want to ever pull the race card. I don't like to use the race card or pull it for any reason, but that's what I felt. I felt like she just judged me, or it was like either the color of my skin or something that just made her treated me poorly, because she didn't even approach me in a way that made me feel comfortable. I felt so nervous while I was on my test. Maybe that's what she really failed me about, for being nervous, but it wasn't even about what she claimed it was. Anyways, I went home and I was just so upset. I got over being upset, but then I was more mad and angry at the fact that this woman did that to me. I felt cheated. So I called the driver's depot to speak to the manager, and it turns out that the manager was this black guy, right? Well, I didn't know at the time, and I was talking to him on the phone, but I was explaining to him how I felt and how this employee just rubbed me the wrong way, and they approached me in such a nasty way and gave me so much attitude and made me feel uncomfortable while I was going out to do my test. And he just proceeded to beat around the bush and blah, 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 and said all this other stuff. And then I was like, well, you know, I felt like it was because of the color of my skin. He's like, oh, we don't have any racist people, you know, employees here, and yada, yada. And then that just made me feel like, are you kidding me? How do you know who's racist from who's not? How do you know what's in someone's heart? How do you know she gave me the fair chance? We talked, and next thing you know, we negotiated him taking me out himself on the road. And then he did, and you know what? I passed. He took me out. I did everything like usual, even though it was nerve-wracking again, because this was my fourth time, and yeah, I ended up passing. There was nothing to fail me on, so he didn't fail me, and it was just an interesting journey, to say the least. He didn't even have much to say aside from the fact that he was like, oh, you passed, here you go. But like, guys, do you see the bumpy road I took just to get to here today, like to be able to drive myself? So frustrating. And like double or triple the price later, because I'm pretty sure I had to pay either $200 or $300. It's $100 each time, but I'm pretty sure I was only pardoned once. Anyways, that is my story, guys. I wanted to share that because looking back at it, it just makes you realize that you should just persevere, because sometimes you get kicked down for whatever the reason is, and sometimes you get kicked even harder while you're down, but perseverance is the key. I knew that I wanted to drive. I knew that I wanted my independence, so it was very important to me to get that. No matter what it is that you're doing, don't give up, persevere, and try your best. If at first you don't succeed, all you got to do is dust yourself off and try again. It will come. It took me 4 tries, guys, 4. I know they weren't exactly real tries, weren't exactly real tries of me going on the street. It was literally half and half. Half of me being sabotaged and half of me being on the street. But anyways, I'm not going to blab anymore. Thank you guys so much. Let me know if you like these storytime videos. If you do, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up or 2. Can you give this video 2 thumbs up? I don't think so. But don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and write a comment down below and let me know your experience going out for your driver's test. And if you guys like these kind of videos, don't forget to check out my storytime playlist that I should have created by now. And yeah, peace guys, and much love. Bye.